Welcome to the latest episodes of Kicks, Cleats, and Athletes. It's your boy, Young EJ. We got our board ops, JD,
Yo, yo.
and coming along soon, our kick god, Jimmy T.
What's good? What's good with you, man?
Oh, man. Good to be back, man. Good to be back.
I was waiting for our man Jimmy T to get on because we missed you last week, and our listeners wanted to know, how'd your wrestling trials go?
Man, y'all in this mess. Wrestling. I had family in town, first time to New York, so I had to do the whole tourist thing.
I get you want to be
Yeah,
modest. You don't want to let the
whatever.
listeners know. It's all good.
Wow.
It's all good. I mean, we had a good time. Telling the folks out there, your goals, your dreams,
What
and,
is
and just,
wrong with
what
y'all?
you got going on. We was proud of you. We was proud of you.
Lying to the people. Just
No,
lying to the people.
we letting the people know what's going on in the streets, and
Mm,
we wanted to make sure that you had as much support as possible, and so
support.
we wanted our listeners to go out there and just support you. We came up, we figured out your name was the plumber, so we good.
Yo, y'all can kick rocks. I can't with y'all. The plumber. What is
Just saying,
wrong?
man. Just saying. It is what it is. So, hey, just keep us posted on how it went, and when you're ready to let us know if you made the next cut or whatnot.
Next
Just
cut.
hey, feel free. You could post it on our IG. You could even go live real quick just to show the people what it is that you're doing. So, hey, you got ways. We got ways.
I'm not playing
But
with y'all.
But all in all, though, we got a great show in store for you guys tonight. We'll definitely hit you with some NFL. We'll hit up a few different games. Our front runner for MVP 4 weeks in, and of course, we got to talk about the big trade that happened last week. Dame going to Milwaukee, even Drew moving on to Boston. So we'll hit on that, and then what's next for Harden. We can't leave you guys without kicks of the week and some trivia. So we got a great show in store for you tonight, and we'll just jump right into it. So we'll hit the NFL. We just hit the end of week 4 with Seattle closing it out against the Giants, the terrible Giants. So that ended our week 4. But the one game that built a lot of anticipation, everybody was I think locked in to see how the Dolphins would have looked off of coming off of a 70-point performance against the Buffalo Bills, their arch rivals in the AFC East. And right now, Buffalo is the team to beat in a sense in the AFC East that, they've won the last few years. So, Miami's still trying to find their stride, and Buffalo looked like the bigger brother and was like, "No, you know what? You're not ready just yet. Like I'm still here, and until you get to our level, we're still here." So, what stood out to you about that game? Like, watching that Miami game, taking their first L of the season. What stood out to you?
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Um, the Bills were the big brother, and they showed why. We looked like we were feeling ourselves. Like we hit a growth spurt over the summer. We were like, yeah, we ready to beat Big Brother, and they hit us with that grown man strength. We were
Yeah.
not ready for it. It was they just came out locked in, and they knew that they wanted to make a point to be known that they were the head of the AFC East, and that we were going to need some work to be where they were. I mean, defensively, we were just awful.
Yeah.
Couldn't tackle. Had Stephon Diggs. Just he's a great player, but man, he was looking like the greatest receiver of all time. Like we just breaking tackles, running passes. I'm like, man, y'all see Tyreek every day in practice, and y'all just getting cooked by Stephon Diggs. Man, it was hibachi out there.
It was,
Like,
they definitely, I felt Miami definitely came in overconfidence,
yeah,
especially when you just drop 70 on a team, like your ego, everything is just through the roof. Like you're just, just exuding all of this just energy and just confidence. And I think they came in overconfident, thinking they'll just do what they've been doing all year. And Buffalo had a good scheme for them. They cut out a lot of those slants, those cross routes. They cut a lot of that. They blitzed. They made sure that they had hands up because Tua's been getting out the ball pretty quickly. So they made sure they had hands up and things like that. I mean, so they were well coached and well prepared for what they were going to see. But I agree, the defense, my goodness, my goodness. And the thing is, I don't know if they haven't lived up to the hype as yet. Because we go back to week 1, they gave up a lot of points to the Chargers.
Yeah, but Chargers got a great offense. Offense is really, really good.
Yeah, but I mean, the Dolphins have one of the highest payrolls on the defensive end. There's a lot of money on that defensive end. Now I get it. Jalen Ramsey is hurt.
Big loss. Yeah.
It's a huge loss.
Mm-hmm.
But come on now. I mean, they couldn't stop the run. I mean, James Cook was looking like Dalvin Cook from back in the day. He was running like Edgerrin James from way back when. I mean, he was just doing what he wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And it's reminiscent of how Miami looked last week against Denver. We were running like crazy. I mean, our run game was non-existent.
Well, so I think that part. Well, yeah, because I mean, how you say his name? Achin? He was 8 carries, 101 yards. Yeah, I mean, I think if our defense, the way it was struggling, it was on Mike McDaniels to actually run the ball more. Because he saw that Tua he wasn't having it. He just didn't have it on Sunday. They were literally not letting Tua kill him with like you said, the crossing routes, getting Tyreek involved. And if you see that our defense is just getting torched out there, you got to give us a little ball control. You got to let them rest, keep them off the field. And if we got a guy who's cooking like that, you got to kind of give him more touches. Like 8's not enough for him to get a $101 off 8 carries. That's not enough touches. Not enough touches. I know like the game was it got out of hand rather quickly. But I think that a remedy for that would have been to give them more running opportunities, because Mostert, I feel like maybe he had like 6 carries, maybe. Like it was just a lot of passing, and Tua, he's not going to beat you with his arm. I mean, if we have to rely on Tua to try to win the game with his arm, like I said, quick passes, yes, but him just being the quarterback in the pocket, killing you downfield, we're not going to win that way. It's just not going to happen. Even when we put up 70, Tua had like 300 and some yards. It was a lot of the run game, so I would have definitely thought that we would have leaned a lot more on that. And we didn't. And that was
we reverted back to how we were last year, because last year we didn't have a run game.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. The game started to get out of hand, and they tried to rely more on Tua than what our strength has actually been this year, and that's our offensive line, that's our run game, and we went away from it way too quickly.
Yeah.
I think you gotta steer the course. You just gotta stay on course. You just gotta keep doing what you're doing, and it will come to fruition. Like, you just have to do it. You can't just quickly abandon it just because it's like, all right, we fell behind. No, keep working, and hopefully you get down the field, you make a couple stops, you find yourself right back in the game. But we did. I think we need Tua to stop only looking at Hill, because there were some plays where Waddle was open, Smite was open, and he just continued just to look Hill's way. And you can't do that. Like, you gotta go back to what you were doing early on and spreading the ball around. Like, you have other weapons. Like, Jalen Waddle has the same kind of speed as Tyreek Hill. He's got hands as well. Like, you utilize him as well. We got speed. Do some screens. You saw the defense was steady coming. Just a couple screens, make them respect you a little bit more and not be ready to blitz and coming after you all the time. But I don't know. It's just crazy.
Definitely served up some humble pie, man. They humbled us. They humbled us for real. We were coming off that 70, chest poked out, like we the big boys on campus, like, and then they showed us that it's levels to this. They ain't no Denver Broncos. Josh Allen ain't Russell Wilson. You know what I mean? Like, that defense ain't the Denver Broncos defense. And we were definitely humbled.
Yeah, we were. What's good?
What's up, guys? What's up, guys? I assume that we're talking about the Dolphins Bills.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Gotcha. I'm sure you guys gave all the listeners they need for that.
Yeah, we gotta get back in the lab. Pretty much what we surmised was like we didn't lean on our run game enough. They've been big for us, and for us to get 8 carries off a guy and he get 101 yards, we definitely needed more carries to kind of just keep our defense off the field. Because they were getting cooked. So definitely things that can be, we'll see them again. And there's to be some adjustment that needs to be made. But in order for us to get to where we want to go, we got to see those boys.
Yeah, well, you got to get healthy too on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of Vic Fangio, so I'm sure he'll have. I mean, it's tough to game plan for Buffalo in general, but especially if Josh Allen's not turning the ball over.
Yeah.
If he's giving you gifts, that's but that's and Jason and I talked about it a little bit last week. I was excited to see this game because again, y'all's offense is potent. You're not going to score just 21 on a regular basis, which is wild because 21 in the NFL is actually pretty darn good. They're going to score 28 and 30 on most weeks, but Buffalo's defense has been nice, and they still don't even have Von Miller coming back yet. So I think he's practicing this week. So I was excited to see it, to see how the game plan goes. But, it's in Buffalo. You got them again down to Miami later in the year.
Yeah.
Try to split that and see how it goes.
Can't let Diggs go off for 3 tutties. Can't do that.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
He's been griping up the right tree all off season, trying to get his points, trying to get his targets. So you knew eventually it was going to happen.
Yeah, it happened. It indeed happened.
That it did, and I mean, like I said, it's one game. We go back to the drawing board. We got the Giants this week. They're coming off of an abysmal game, so.
It's a get-right game.
It is a get-right game. Get back on track and just kind of continue to do what we do. But we definitely have to change our game plan there, and we'll figure it out.
We better not lose to no Daniel Jones. Better not.
That offensive line is the worst. I don't even know how to describe them. I can't. Unbelievable how bad they are.
But we'll see. So we had a couple of teams that were looking and searching for their first win, the battle of the defeateds. On one end, we had Denver versus Chicago, and then on another game, we had the Vikings against the Panthers. All 4 teams searching for their first win. Denver finally got over the hump after a very slow start, and the Vikings finally got over the hump as well. So let's start with the Denver-Chicago game. So, what did that game tell you more of? Did it tell you more about Denver, maybe their resilience and trying to turn this ship around, or did it tell you that Chicago is just tanking and Fields is just not it?
I mean, Denver's defense is bad. Like, I didn't think it was going to be this bad, but it is bad. Like, Justin Fields was looking like a god out there. Like, until that third quarter hit, they have no answer for that man. Running, throwing, he on a line, dropping dimes on. I'm like, this is not the same Justin Fields as we've seen this season. And sure enough, man, he made one mistake, but I think that in their minds, they thought they were in such command of that game. They thought that they were defeated. that the Broncos morally were defeated, that they weren't going to be able to have the spirit to come back. And that's the one thing, like Russell Wilson, he'll keep battling to the end. And it doesn't seem that, Sean Payton has given up on him. And they fought back. And I think they punched Chicago in the mouth, and they had no response to that. They didn't know what to do. They were having success. And then when the success stopped, they just unraveled at the seams. And I was shocked that Denver was able to come back like that. Just them giving up 70 and then going down like that. I was like, oh man, this is a broken football team. But indeed, we saw who the most broken football team is, and that's the Chicago Bears. I mean, you can't even blame that loss on Justin Fields. It's not his fault. Like, he played well enough to win that game. It is just they have a lot of issues as far as leadership goes on that team with how they're handling their players, like their defense. I mean, their defensive coordinator getting raided by the feds, that didn't help. So yeah, they got a lot of internal things to do with that, and I don't think it's a Justin Fields problem per se.
It's organizational.
Yeah,
Jason, we should ask EJ what. I mean, now he has the outcome of the game, but Jason and I debated for a little bit last week on who this game was bigger for. Was it bigger for Justin Fields or was it bigger for Russell Wilson? What do you think, EJ?
In watching the game, I think it was bigger for Russell Wilson to get that win, for them to kind of right that ship a little bit. Sean Payton to get his first win, because he was talking a lot of junk when he came in there about Nathaniel Hackett and him not being a quality coach, and it would have looked bad for him to go 0-4. At least Nathaniel Hackett was started like 2-1 last year. So if they would have went 0-4, there would have, I think the noise would have been a lot louder for Denver than it is for Chicago. Like, we knew Chicago was a bad team, and I think we were just pleasantly surprised that they actually looked like a functional team. So I think it was, we expect them to be the bad news Bears, but they were looking like a quality offense. I mean, the running back DJ Moore, I was like Cole Kmet. I mean, they were clicking. So I think it was bigger definitely for Russ because Justin Fields still young, and at the end of the day, I think any other team that needs a quarterback would be happy to get a Justin Fields. I don't blame him. It's that you said. So. Who needs a quarterback? So. Yeah. You don't think they'd take him over Zach Wilson? You don't think they'll take Justin Fields over Zach Wilson in New York? I think they would.
Robert Saleh loves Zach Wilson.
Man, that man must got some pictures of that man. He got some pictures of that man.
Something, because he is a Zach Wilson apologist, I swear. He was talking in the press conference like they won the game. Like, bro, y'all still lost.
For real.
Yeah, I don't know. Justin Fields is not it. And I think he needed that win more than Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson, honestly, to me, has nothing left to prove. I mean, he's won the Super Bowl. He should have won back-to-back Super Bowls. That's bad play call. You give it to Marshawn Lynch, let him punch it in. You're a back-to-back Super Bowl champion. Instead, for whatever reason, you decide to throw it. But neither here nor there. I don't think he has anything to prove.
Legacy-wise, I might beg to differ.
I don't think he's worried.
I might beg to differ, because you got to think.
Worried.
Well, you got to
wait, but who is he trying to catch? Like, we know he's not going to catch Brady as far as rings.
Well, no,
he's not going to catch Mahomes. So, like, legacy as far
maybe
as
just in general of Hall of Fame status.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to be a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback. Like, he was on that trajectory with the Seahawks, and he left the Seahawks.
I mean, when that trade happened, we were talking about that division being, because Devontae Adams went to the Raiders, Russ went. Obviously, you have Pat Mahomes and Herbert. We were talking about that division sending 4 people to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm with you, but I still don't think that his legacy or even his Hall of Fame status is on the line.
I tell you this, EJ.
I think his numbers are good enough that he will make it, and I think this was more indicative of Justin Fields. I mean, here you are in your 3rd year, and you haven't won more than 4 games. So it's like, at what point in time, as an organization, are you like, look, this just isn't working,
right?
And you move on. So I think it was bigger for him to show, like, look, I could win these games. I could be your franchise quarterback. Because right now, Chicago holds the number 1 and the number 2 pick in the NFL draft at this current moment. So right now, if they wanted to, they could get Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. and have a dynamic duo to start off to kick off next season if they want to. If everything stays the way it is.
But that's what I'm saying, Jay. Their offense wasn't the reason that Chicago lost that game. Justin Fields played a hell of a game. Like, he played phenomenal. So I don't think it wasn't a Justin Fields issue. Like,
it wasn't.
Yeah.
But then it became a Justin Fields issue when you're trying to get down the field and you throw the terrible pass, interception. So it's one of those where I just feel like I think they're going to just continue to ride it out with him, and if they have the number 1 pick when it's all said and done, they're going to draft Caleb Williams, and Justin Fields is either going to be the backup or they are going to try to trade him somewhere for maybe a mid-round pick, like a 3rd or 4th round pick. But
the Bears are not on Caleb Williams' list. You see, he released a list of teams that he would play for.
I know that there was speculation about him. If the whoever had the first pick, if he wasn't feeling it, he was just going to go back.
The list came out within the last couple of days. It might have even been today. Everything gets jumbled up in my mind sometimes, but it was. And I might miss a team or here or there, but the Bears absolutely were not. Now, you might be able to sell him, say, hey, we got the number 1 and number 2. We're going to get Marvin Harrison Jr. He'd be like, all right, let's go. But it was the 49ers. It was 49ers.
They ain't gonna have to pick.
This is but no, seriously. Like, he's like, I'm going to make more money in NIL deals next year than I will as a rookie. He literally said this, that as a rookie in the NFL and NIL. And so if he stays, he's going to make more money. So he said the 49ers, the Vikings were one of them, obviously because of Justin Jefferson. I told y'all that. The Vikings were one of them. Dang, now I'm blanking. There was 4 other teams on there though. I think there was a New York team on there. There was another team that was highly. It was up there. It was a team that's good.
He wild with that 49ers mess. He definitely wild.
Who doesn't want to? Who doesn't? I mean,
Man, they got my dog Brock. Can't lose, Brock. Come on, man. My dog, don't lose. Man, don't lose.
Well, I mean, when you have Christian McCaffrey scoring touchdowns every week.
I mean, that's not every week, but you're right. He balled out, but it's still.
I don't know.
I don't know. I just don't get it because
I don't know if he said this or if it was rumors. Though I did say that he came out and said it. I don't know if it's obviously they're leaking it on purpose. So,
well, I mean, he's come out and said that. Well, I don't know. Well, okay. I don't know if he said, but I mean, it's been widely reported that if whoever has the number 1 pick, if it's a team he's not feeling, he's just going to stay in college.
I got the 5 teams for you here. Cowboys, Raiders, Vikings, Giants, and 49ers. I knew one of them was the Giants. I did a New York team.
So honestly, all right, so this with that list, 49ers definitely not going to happen because they're not going to have
the capital.
They don't even need a quarterback.
Well, they're not going to have the capital to get to him anyway.
Even if they had the capital.
The Raiders might, the Vikings might, the Giants might. The Cowboys won't have the. Well, the capital. I mean, the Cowboys could throw a couple things, but I doubt they do that. Jerry Jones isn't a big. Let's jump to number 1, but
the Cowboys would have to do a whole lot to get to the number 1 pick. I mean, they're giving up a whole lot, and they pretty much have to tank. The 49ers, like we just said, not gonna get there.
Well, I mean, they could get to the top 5, and then Caleb Williams is like, I'm not going to whoever's number 1, and then they make a trade at that point in time, kind of like the Eli Manning situation.
You gotta give up too much there.
Oh no, I agree with you. I think that's the point, is saying that he's gonna make so much money as NIL next year that he doesn't have to come out.
Yeah, and the 49ers are playing Brock's peanuts. He's only making peanuts. Like,
let's be real about the situation. Any team that has the number 1 pick is terrible. They need a whole redo. So if you are just going to be stuck on you want to go to specific teams, then you might as well not even worry about going into the NFL. Don't even go into the draft. just try to let somebody pick you up on a practice squad and go in as a free agent. So don't even enter the draft.
What's
Just
the
be like,
rule
you
on
know
that?
what?
Can you just bypass the draft and just do whatever you want, or do you
I
have
don't
to
know.
enter the draft to be able to be eligible to be a player? Like, do you have to
Yeah, I
put your
think you.
name into the
Yeah, I
draft?
think you have to.
You
Yeah,
might,
I'm pretty sure
you
you
might
have to enter the
like,
draft.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because
but he can
I
just
feel
pull
like
a
we
Eli.
would see this more often if it was, a situation where you didn't have to enter your name into the draft.
Yeah, you got to.
That's true.
Yeah, he'll try to
But
pull an Eli.
again, like,
But
I mean,
one of those
let's
teams
be
I
real,
told
though.
you, the Vikings, could easily be up there in the number one pick.
Well, I mean, even this year they could. I mean, they're not the
They won
best,
one
and I
pick?
mean, Cousins is getting there where, hey, we could start looking, especially to pair with Jefferson. I mean, you got this young star receiver.
And
might
he
be
got his
time.
boy from
Even
last
though
year. Addison is on the squad too.
even though I'm not sold on Caleb Williams as an NFL quarterback. Granted, I haven't seen him play in the NFL. I just don't think it's going to work out. I just don't. But we'll see.
He looked like he got the skill set. I mean, he knows about having a team that's defense sucks. So it wouldn't be new territory for him.
Nah, I mean, but again, whatever team he goes to or whatever team winds up with the number one pick, it's going to be a team that is looking at rebuilding. It's not going to be a team that's competing and contending for a Super Bowl every year. They're not going to be there. So he's going to have to just roll.
I'd
the
like to
dice
see this
and-
play out and it backfire in 2 years. Every team that picks in the top 5 is somewhere he doesn't want to go.
Let me just quick question. You guys don't think that Atlanta would be so much better with a Justin Fields having those weapon with a Bijan coming out of the backfield?
I do. I think so. To go back to the question, EJ, I was on the other train. I thought it was bigger for Russell Wilson because Justin Fields is still young, even though this or the GM and the coach were not the ones that picked him, right? So if they decide to move on from him, I still think there's enough people in the NFL is like, oh, I can do something with this guy. If Russell Wilson fails, he's done. Yeah, if Russell Wilson fails, he's done. Like there's nobody. He's too expensive to be a backup quarterback. He might become a journeyman like Baker Mayfield, but
he make a ton of money.
But he brings a lot of now with everything that's come out in Seattle and the whole situation in Denver. I feel like he becomes one of these quarterbacks that it's not worth the cost and having him in the building for a backup for your young quarterback or whoever you have in there. So I think this is, if he doesn't get it right, it's his last ride. See what I did there?
Yeah. He thought he was Tom. He thought he was Tom Brady. He can come in there and be like, "Oh, I got the hardware, make demands. I'm in my own office. I'm gonna do it like this. Let me cook." And cooking was terrible. And this year, like I said, if he don't make playoffs anymore, because that's what it's looking like. They just don't look like a playoff, anywhere near a playoff caliber team. The Broncos.
They just gave up 70, EJ. They're not a playoff team.
So that's what I'm saying. So this is year 2.
And then 28
to Justin and the boys.
Worst offense in the league.
Yeah.
Look, but I mean, can you put all of that on Russell Wilson again?
No. And we agreed on that last week too. You can't put it all on him. It's not on him. But at the same time, if they go into
not out there playing defense.
At the same time, if they go into rebuild mode and they decide to cut bait, like it's, that's why I felt like they needed to go out and start winning some games. But at the very least, they're like, all right, well, we can keep Russ and start to try to find some other ways to win versus we're picking in the top 5. We're going to draft the quarterback.
Look, I look at it like this. When it comes to that situation, again, Russell Wilson isn't the one out there playing defense. If Russell Wilson every game had 4 or 5 turnovers, then I'd be like, yeah, he's costing them the game. But it's not like he's turning. It's just they're not moving the ball like they should. And when they are scoring points, the defense is scoring. The defense is giving up more. Because again, like Jimmy said earlier when he first came on, he was like, an NFL team putting up 21 points, that's good. When Denver got beat by Miami, they put up 20. So it's not like they got blanked like, the Giants did last night, only putting up 3 points. They put up 20. They defense gave up 70 points. So I think there's more. I think there's more fault there on the defense, and just all of that over it being like, Russell Wilson is just not who he was.
I mean, the quarterback's supposed to be the leader, right? Supposed to be the leader. It don't seem like that's really Russ. I mean, it seems like it would have been more. It was the Legion of Boom and Pete over in Seattle. They gave the man the opportunity to be the leader at Denver, and like those boys were ready to mute me on Russ last year. Like they was ready to be like, nah, this dude ain't it. So I'm just, he could be a product of a system, of an environment. I said he's a bad quarterback. I just don't know if he is what we saw in Seattle.
I mean, he might be a quarterback that needs to rely on a strong defense. So let's do this then. Do you think he would look better if he was on the Dallas Cowboys over Dak Prescott?
Russell Wilson?
Yes, Russell Wilson.
I don't.
Because I'm just going with EJ's theory about the Legion of Boom, pretty much being behind this strong defense. So would the Cowboys offensively look better with Russell Wilson over Dak Prescott? Because they have that strong defense that he could fall back on.
I mean, it's kind of hard to say this season because he hasn't had to look good. That defense has been so, top notch. It really hasn't asked Dak to do much. They've really just asked him to be a game manager for the most part, outside of that fluky Arizona game. So even the game against the Patriots this past week, they really kept it super vanilla because the defense was scoring left and right. So I can't really say that he would be so much better than Dak because I think they would probably not ask him to do too much more than what Dak's doing.
Right. Jason, here you go, right? I just want to share his stats for the season. And obviously there's more stats, but his numbers look good right now.
Russell
for the regular
Wilson?
67%
Exactly.
completion, 1,000 yards, 9 to 2 in a touchdown. Yes. Yeah, 9 to 2 touchdown interception ratio.
Dak has 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. He's only thrown 4 touchdowns in 4 games.
Well, when your defense is scoring, defense scores 2 touchdowns a game for you. Yeah. You ain't really got to do much.
I agree with you, Jason.
You brought up that whole the fluke game against Arizona. No, that just shows you that you need your quarterback to be able to put up points too. Like if your defense is not going to be able to play at that level every single week.
Wait a second. Wait a second, Jay. They were playing Arizona. Now, come on, now.
Arizona played San Francisco tough in that game. In about
they
2.5 quarters, and then got away from them. But I mean, they're playing with.
Look,
you can't name more than 4 players on that team right now, maybe 5.
Oh, Arizona.
So, but they're playing tough, man. I'll tell you.
Look, I'll tell you this. These are professional athletes, the best of the best. So even though you got a dumpster fire of a team, they're still professional athletes, and they're gonna go out there and do what they can. And so, I'm not going. I'll say that the team is trash, but I'm not gonna be like, well, they were playing. Yeah, they are a team that's getting beat down on. However, they are professional athletes, and to my point is, Russell Wilson has better numbers than Dak Prescott right now.
Yes, you are right, but it's also though.
I feel if Russell Wilson was on that Cowboys team as a quarterback, I think that he would have the same type of numbers.
No, he would,
and they would look better. Why wouldn't they?
Because they're not asking. They wouldn't ask him
weapons.
Legitimately, that's not how the offense is run in Dallas. They want to run first now. They're not a pass first offense. They want to run the ball. And now that they have their defense is so on fire like it is, they don't take unnecessary risks. They're not trying to move the ball downfield.
Well, they're trying to limit all the mistakes Dak made last year. That's what they're trying to do. So it's not about this whole thing. It's all they're trying to do is make sure that he does not commit the same stupid turnovers he was committing last year. So that's why they're trying not to have him throw the ball as much because he's interception prone. Think about it. All last year, you were screaming for Cooper Rush. You wanted him to stay. You was like, nah, he needs to be the starter. Dak, blah, 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 blah. That was last year.
The man was coming off injury. He was trash. He was coming off energy. He was off an injury, and he was playing like trash. You're right. I'm saying this year, the fundamental makeup of this team is just different in the such that you don't need your quarterback to do that.
No, I think this year McCarthy's trying to make sure that he don't lose his job. That's what is happening. So right now he is going to lean heavy on his defense, and if he can make sure that Dak doesn't turn the ball over, he's going to be happy with it, because this is a make or break year for him before Dak.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry loves them. I mean, they're going to be in the playoffs again, just based off of how the NFC is. But Russell Wilson, do I think they'll probably go further with Russell Wilson? No. I think they'll still get stomped out by the 49ers if they had Russell Wilson or if they had Dak. It'll be Philadelphia would still beat them if they had Russell Wilson or they had Dak. I don't think that Russell Wilson is such this game changer that he's going to propel them so much farther than Dak could.
Well, I mean, we'll see this weekend. Sunday Night Football, Dallas versus San Francisco. So
that will be a good one. Well, I mean, it's
Sunday night.
San Francisco's the cream of the crop. They're the it. Yeah, what you mean? Are they? What?
They didn't make the Super Bowl last year. So how are they the cream?
Because their quarterback got hurt. He got hurt the first series, the very first series.
You're still sold on Brock Purdy, aren't you?
What? You're not? Are you not?
I mean, I feel just like you said. I mean, he's a game manager.
Oh my god.
He's a game manager.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Wait, hold on. Jeez. You just talked about how
throwing dimes. Man, they be throwing dimes.
And every quarterback.
Come on, man. Man got Brandon Ayuk out there looking like a god. Man, come on, man. See,
Christian looking like a god.
Have you ever seen Brandon Ayuk play this well?
Man, come on now.
Come on,
Christian,
bro.
So Christian McCaffrey is just whatever.
I ain't saying the man is whatever. He a beast. He's actually he's my MVP right now. But my dog Brock, honorable mission. The man is running this team. He's spreading the ball around. Different weapons.
He's a game manager.
Man, don't do nothing but win. But he a game manager. That's all he is. Yeah, but he a game manager. Oh my goodness.
That's all he is a game
manager. Yeah, you're right. He manages wins, Jason. You are indeed right. Man, managing wins.
Take Christian McCaffrey out of the game. What is he gonna do? What's he gonna do? What is he gonna do?
Hold on.
What is he gonna do?
They're gonna plug in another running back. What they do? That's what San Francisco does. They plug in running backs. They plug in running backs.
Nobody like Christian McCaffrey.
Okay, no one has it. Okay, yes, but are you telling me that they're not going to be able to run the ball if they don't have Christian McCaffrey?
Not the way they do now. And you'd be a fool if you think they would.
I'm not saying that the backup would be as good as Christian McCaffrey. But do I think that they would lose these games if they didn't have Christian McCaffrey? No, because they have Deebo Samuels, they have Brandon Ayuk, they have George Kittle, they have Elijah Mitchell. They have weapons out of this world. What are you talking about?
Kittle hasn't done much this year.
Because he hasn't had to.
This year.
Who? Deebo killed 2 weeks ago. Brandon Ayuk killed last week.
Who's doing all the work?
What do you mean all the work?
Who's doing all the work?
Jason, Brandon Ayuk just had like 160 receiving yards.
I asked you a question.
The offensive line.
Who's doing all the work?
You heard what Jimmy just said?
Who's doing all the work? It's a simple question. Who's doing all the work?
Jimmy just said?
I asked you a question.
Oh, you asked me a question?
Yes.
Chris McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, Brandon Ayuk.
No. Pause. Pause right there.
You had
alone. Hold on. This week alone, they put up 35 points. 28 of those points came from Christian McCaffrey.
Yes, you're right.
28 of those points.
But come on now,
35.
So you're telling
28 came from him.
So you're telling me why the 5 the red zone inside the 5-yard line. The only way they can score is if they give the ball to Christian McCaffrey. They decided to give the ball to Christian McCaffrey. Yes, that's not the only way they can score though. They can line Deebo up in the backfield, and he's a phenomenal rusher of the ball. That's what I'm saying. Jason, you're wild. They're such an offensively creative team. You're telling me, like, you act like if Christian McCaffrey got hurt, that they would just fall off a cliff. That's not true. It's not true.
I didn't say they would fall off a cliff.
Well, they have lost. So if Christian McCaffrey got hurt week 1, are they losing any of the 4 games that they've won this week? Are they losing any? No, because they have phenomenal team. They have a phenomenal team, Jason. It's not just Christian McCaffrey. It is the San Francisco 49ers. It's Kyle Shanahan. It's Brock Purdy. It's Brandon Ayuk. It's Deebo Samuel. It's Kittle. It's Jennings. They have a team, a squad, and that defense is stellar.
All right. If you say so. If you
say so. You've seen it.
So. If you say, you might need to check your blood pressure.
Yeah, that was fun.
Crazy.
But if you say so, I mean, hey, it is what it is, you know.
So let me ask you a question. So let me ask you a question. So they had Christian McCaffrey last year in the playoffs, right?
They did.
And what happened when Brock Purdy got hurt? What happened?
I mean, they lost. They would have.
They got beat down. That's what happened.
They still would have lost.
You're speculating. You don't know that.
But you're speculating too.
Because the man, I have proof. He hasn't lost a game yet. He has not lost a single game in the NFL.
I have proof too.
What's your proof?
Jalen Hurts took the team to the Super Bowl. He wasn't losing. He won.
Oh my goodness gracious!
So what's your proof? What's your proof? You're sitting there speculating too. You are speculating.
I'm not speculating. Every time Brock Purdy has stepped on the field, the San Francisco 49ers have won the football game. It's plain and simple.
All right.
I can't say the same thing for Christian McCaffrey.
Have they gone to a Super Bowl? He was on the field. He stepped on the field. Whether or not he got hurt or not, he was on the field, right?
My goodness.
Right?
I'm not playing with you today.
Hey, you said it. I'm just asking you a question.
Man hurt the first series, Jason. Come on, now.
Again, whose fault is that?
It's nobody's fault. What are you talking about? The man got hurt.
Jason's whose fault is it?
December 3rd, we'll see. We'll see, you know, if Brock Purdy, hopefully he's healthy.
Wait, is that when they play the Eagles?
Yeah, they play the Eagles December 3rd.
Can't wait.
You know? I can't wait too.
Just the Brock Purdy disrespect is crazy.
Wait, Jason, whose fault was it that he got hurt though?
Huh?
Whose fault was it?
Thank you.
You're like, whose fault was that? Like it was my fault.
He was like, I'm gonna go. The man tried to come in and throw with his left hand. That's how committed he was. The man tried.
It's not like he went and punched the wall or something. You know, he got hurt getting hit.
Hey, protect yourself better.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. What's wrong with you, Jason? I can't.
But anyway, let's move on. So, I mean, I already know where you're gonna go with this, but 4 weeks into the season, who's your MVP front runner? I already know you're going probably Christian McCaffrey because you just spent a whole bunch of time on him, RNA team. So,
it is.
Who's your front runner?
It's Christian McCaffrey. It is. Man's he's been balling out.
Why?
I mean, he has a stellar offensive line. And he's a great running back. Yes, he's a great running back.
What else?
Yeah.
What else?
But
Why not Brock Purdy? Why not Brock Purdy? You were just singing his praises, and now all of a sudden.
So let me finish.
Hold on.
Let me finish.
Go to the person that I just said.
My dog, Brock Purdy.
I said if you took him off the team, they won't be the same.
My
That's
dog,
the person you want to give MVP to.
My dog Brock Purdy earns an honorable mention as an MVP. He does.
Want to make sure.
You hear what I said? My dog Brock Purdy earns an honorable mention as an MVP.
So EJ, let me ask you this question: if I told you right now, give me your top 3 MVP candidates, you're going Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, and who? Is Brock Purdy number 2? Is Brock Purdy in your top 3 for?
Yeah, he is. I'm trying to think. Who I would put above him, besides Christian McCaffrey. To be honest with you, I wouldn't put someone else above him. The man legitimately puts his team in the best positions to win. He doesn't turn the ball over. He gets his receivers.
Manager.
Game, Lord have mercy. Man's not a game manager.
My bad. You know what?
Can you please look up his numbers, Jimmy? Can you please look up Brock Purdy's numbers, please? Because I'm tired of this game manager business. Like, you really out here. I just said Brock Purdy. My number 3 was
72%.
1,019
yards. Touchdowns.
How many interceptions?
0.
How many rushing? You didn't even say, man, got rushing touchdowns too? You ain't count for those, huh?
He's got 2 rushing touchdowns.
Oh, okay, so he's seven touchdowns
with 24 yards rushing on the season.
Well,
So
hey,
he was at the 1 yard line. Did you not just say that was wrong with Christian McCaffrey when I said it?
All I'm saying is, hold on, wait a second. Brock Purdy hasn't turned the ball over this season. He's won the games. He has 70+% completion percentage.
Actually, he has 4 fumbles with 1 lost. So
I meant interception, but okay, all right, okay.
You just brought up. Wait, time out. You just brought up. Oh, doesn't he have rushing touchdowns? And then when I bring up his turnovers, it's all of a sudden it's just interception.
So he has Jason. So he has 1 turnover. So he has 1 turnover in 4 games. That's what you're that.
Well, that just lets me know that the 4 other times or the 3 other times he got lucky that a lineman or somebody got the ball back.
My goodness. Anyways, number 3.
No, don't worry about that. Just go back on your little soapbox about CMC and why he's your front runner.
I mean, what he's been up
over your crush Brock Purdy.
It's not a crush. It's just reality. But
does Cooper Rush know you cheating on him with Brock Purdy?
See, why would you even put them in the same sentence, bro? Like, you're so disrespectful to Brock Purdy. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But it's CMC. I mean, he almost tied Jerry Rice's touchdown record. I do think
break it.
Nah, it's 5 in the game for Jerry. He got 4.
But I thought it was no, he broke
the single game. No, I'm talking about the single game.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, the 100+ yards out, I think 3 out of the 4 games this season. I definitely got to give it to CMC. But my dog, Brock Purdy, he deserves some consideration because he has been balling out, left off where he left off last season. No losses for that man. Shout out young Brock.
All right. Jimmy T, who's your front runner for MVP in this young season? Trevor Lawrence?
No.
What? No. I'm about to say.
I agree with EJ. I think it's Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
I think it's Christian McCaffrey.
Who number? All right. So number 2 then. Number 2. Who's your second? Who's your number 2 then, Jimmy?
Number 2, I have a tie. And okay, never mind, because one just beat the other. So it's Josh Allen over Tua. And then the 4th, I got a 4th. The 4th would be Chris Jones. The way he impacts the game for Kansas City on the defensive side of the football.
Okay, that's an off kilter pick.
He honestly, him and Aaron Donald are neck and neck to me as the most dominant football players and on the defensive side. I like Micah Parsons. Don't get me wrong. I don't come at my neck, Cowboys fans, but I just think that the 2 of them are so much more versatile right now and just a little bit further in there. Like, I think Micah I think he gets there, but the 2 of them, it's a shame that Donald's on a team that's going to be probably tossing in the towel here pretty soon. But Chris Jones, he lines up in every position on the defensive line. If we were to try to sit here and listen, I mean, as we get more used to this Kansas City team, we'll know the names. But if you go and try to go down and name all 11 defensive starters, we probably can't name them all. And their defense looks better now than they have. I know coming off the Zach Wilson game and all that.
I was about to say.
But he impacts the game in a lot of ways. And I mean, after holding out, comes back, he's already got 3.5 sacks. I mean, it's, and that's from the defensive tackle position. So those are my 4. The most realistic are probably the 2 in the middle because it ends up being a quarterback award. But CMC is my number 1 right now.
I mean, outside Tua has played 2 good games. They had 2 arguably bad games. So I mean,
you think the New England game was bad?
I don't think it was great. Yeah, I thought it was.
I think it was just a tough division.
Yeah, it's a division game. Bill Belichick, I mean.
So,
listen, division games, man. The match, the styles make the matchup, right? Sometimes there's just teams that you don't match up well with.
Well, it don't seem like we match up well.
You see them twice a year. They know what you're bringing. It's a little easier not easier, but it's you you know a little bit more about game planning for him. So I never take those division games into like if they have if they're averaging 400 yards a game and they come down and average 299 instead. Like I'm not looking at that like, oh, it was an off game. I'm looking at it as a tough division matchup.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my 3 is similar to Jimmy's there, but just a different order. I actually, even with the loss, just if we're looking off of numbers, strictly numbers at the moment, Tua is my MVP right now.
How many turnovers does Tua have?
I think 3. He has 3 interceptions, but he has 9 touchdowns.
And how many fumbles?
He has one. He has 5 fumbles, 1 fumble loss.
Yeah,
he's also thrown already for over 1,300 yards at 71%. So I would probably go with him because I mean Josh Allen's got 4 interceptions that he's thrown, and I'm not sure if fumble wise what he's working with. And
he's
then
got a
we'll
couple
go Christian
as well.
McCaffrey. So I I'm kind of with Jimmy on the 3. I'm with you with Christian McCaffrey as well there. EJ being in the top 3, but I think just if we're looking at numbers, I mean, to me, Tua right now would be the MVP, and because like Jimmy said, I mean, it is a quarterback award, so it's gonna take Christian McCaffrey to have
2000
a special year, for him to probably break a rushing record or something like that for them to be like, yeah, okay, but he'll probably win Offensive Player of the Year, the NFC Offensive Player of the Year, or something like that. But the MVP, it'll end up being a quarterback of some extent, but we'll see.
I mean, if San Francisco goes like 15-2, and he's running like he's running, I think they'll easily give it to him.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. But let's switch gears real quick before we go too long, and we're gonna give you a little time to process. I know you've processed this. Pat's been making it clear.
Oh my goodness.
Your feelings and things like that. So we'll let you open up with the saga that transpired for most of the summer when Dame asked for a trade.
Oh,
he
said, like, "Where are you going with this?"
He said he wanted to go to Miami. So Heat fans all around. We've been sitting around looking at our phones, waiting for that text to come through, that alert, that notification that says Dame's been traded to Miami for whomever. But we never got it. So what we got instead was Dame's been traded to the Milwaukee Bucks.
You got a perm. Is what you got. A new hairdo.
He went. Well, Jimmy Butler went back to the braids.
Today?
Went back to the braids. Yeah. That was only because he
likes to troll. Yeah, he likes to troll.
Well, every year. Last year was the extensions.
Yeah. He likes to break the internet.
It's like he goes to World of Nations before he comes back for training camp, and he's like, "I'm gonna try."
Did you see the meme, the Hey Ya, the Andre 3000 meme?
Yeah, I saw that one.
Him playing the guitar. I was like, oh my gosh. But nevertheless, how do you feel, Dame, to the Bucks?
Oh man,
Take a sip for this one.
Basketball soul hurts. We were promised something, and it wasn't delivered.
Wait. What were you? I'm sorry. I know we're supposed to let him go, but what were you promised?
We were promised Dame.
Who promised you that?
It was an unofficial promise, but we were promised Dame. Everyone knew he was coming to Miami. Everyone knew, and Portland they really wanted. I don't know what Pat Riley did to the people of Portland, the organization, the owner, but it was like, in no means are we trading this man to the Miami Heat. For the Bucks to just give up freaking Drew Holiday and a Grayson Allen, and then for them to be able to recoup a freaking Dame Lillard is just mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling. You can't tell me we couldn't have put together something that was comparable to that. And they didn't even keep Drew Holiday. They didn't even keep this man. It was a slap in the face. And Pat, I mean, I trust in Pat. You know, he's definitely gotten the most out of our squad. From what we've had, player-wise, putting together, they've gotten the most out of it. But my heart was broken. We were promised Dame, and they stole him from us. And for him to go to freaking Milwaukee, of all places, like, to go play with Giannis, how you let this man go pair up with the Greek Freak? Like, it ruined Eastern Conference basketball for me. Because I'm like, you literally tried to give this man the easiest path to be able to get back to the finals. You could have gotten something from anybody else except these boys. And just on a side note, I went to a baby shower over the weekend.
Oh,
and the gentleman's baby shower, he's a minority owner of the freaking Bucks. And literally, he got everybody in the Dame baby shower at different points throughout to ask me how I feel about Dame going to Milwaukee. It was the worst baby shower I've ever been to. Literally, random people. How you feel about Dame? I was like, who are you? Like, how do you disgusted, man. That's what I'm disgusted.
I like this guy.
It's awful.
We need an introduction.
No, this guy is awful when it comes to fantasy football and his shenanigans. But
the guy that we're talking about, the baby shower guy.
Yeah, the baby shower guy, man.
Shower
Freaking
guy.
man. But yeah,
look, all right. So yes, I'm with you to an extent.
Sold a bill of goods.
I mean, I don't know about sold. I think more so anticipating, hyped. You know, just ready for that news.
Those are good words.
The man Dame, he released a video with Will Smith in the background, the Miami song. He was in the restaurant bouncing to it. Come on now.
All right. So the way I look at this is the Portland organization pretty much said, F you, Dame. Since you want out, we going to do what we want to do. Because if we're going based off of reports, the Heat offered more than what they accepted from Milwaukee. Because you got the young player that you said you wanted, even though you said you didn't want that particular player. You were getting the draft capital that you said you wanted, and we had another team involved that was willing to take on Tyler Hero. So I just feel like they just didn't want to send Dame where he wanted to go. I think that's exactly what happened there, because the reports came out that the only time Portland came back to Miami was like, oh, well, we want either Bam or Jimmy. That's who we want. And, like, let's be real. Like, come on now. You knew that wasn't even an option. And so I think that's more so what it was. And they played it out until, it's like, okay, you know what? We'll send you here and we'll flip the next person. But I really think it was a disservice to Dame because of what he's done for the organization. And they're not going anywhere. It'd be one thing if they were building something around him really to make them competitive and to give him that ability to, strive and play for a championship. I get it. But they're not. They're in a full rebuild mode. And at his age, you want to win now. He's been loyal. The least you could have done was really work out for where he wanted to go. Make it work, because he could have asked for a trade 5 years ago and he probably would have had a ring by now. He probably would have been in a better situation, but he stayed loyal to them and all the BS they told him about, we're gonna bring in these people, we're gonna rebuild, we're gonna build around you, and they didn't do it. And so you can't fault him for it, but I think the organization, I think the general manager, I think all of them just said a big F you. We're just going to trade you wherever. We're not going to send you to where you want to go.
I mean, I don't think it was an FU, Jay. To go play with Giannis ain't really no FU. That's like, they could have, they sent the man.
Hold on. I mean, the FU to we're not going to send you to where you want to go. I honestly feel him going to Milwaukee is going to allow him to play for a championship a lot sooner than if he would have gone to Miami.
Well, that's what he wanted, though, too. He wanted to go to a contender. He said that. He was like, I want to play for a contender.
As constructed, because I look at what Portland was trying to get. Portland was going to just strip us of all of our pieces. That's what they were trying to do. So it's like you would have ended up with a team with Jimmy Butler, Bam, and Dame Lillard, and then trying to figure out a whole bunch of players that you could just pick up out the YMCA to build around the team.
And I would have loved every second of it.
But the problem is it might not have gone anywhere. So I think overall, he ended up in a better situation going to Milwaukee, and they're probably going to win. And as much as I don't want to admit it and say it, but between them and probably Boston, they're going to be probably the top two teams in the NBA this year. You and your who do you feel is going to be better than Milwaukee or Boston?
I'm gonna let Jimmy speak on it because he had a chance to speak, and then I'll tell you why I feel kind of about that Boston deal.
Oh, that's exactly what I'm gonna talk about. So, I mean, y'all said it. I don't think.
So jump into it then.
Because, first of all, I just don't think they wanted what. I don't think they wanted what they were getting back. I mean, who was the third team with the Heat? Were they gonna get Ayton? Were they? I mean, they look like they're trying to I think they were trying to reimagine their big room, right? To pair with the young point guard. I mean, this is a young team that I think. Well, I don't think they're not going to compete for anything, but I like it as a team that grows together.
But it could have happened because Phoenix was interested in Lowry, so you probably could have parted ways with Lowry and held on to Hero in some sort of deal that would have sent Ayton over to Portland anyway, because that was the whole report that Phoenix wanted to get a deal in there to try to get Lowry from Miami to help facilitate the whole Dame trade.
Yeah. The other part of it is, I mean, you want to take care of the player, but you can't just not take care of your organization as well. So I feel like there needed to be some balance there, and I thought there was, in my opinion. I mean, I think they should have gotten more for this. Don't get me wrong. I think it was peanuts. But, I mean, to Jason's point, like, there was like a big FU. I mean, sending them to play with Giannis, kind of all right.
And again, I don't mean the FU was like, yeah, we sent you somewhere where you're still contending. No, I just meant like they just didn't care where he wanted to go.
Well,
but I think a way it was like we'll still give you to a competitor, a contending team, but
I think that's fair. I mean, I think that's fair, right? Like, you need to be able to pay. Like, if this is what really Portland wanted, which I feel like they could have gotten more. If this is really what they wanted, and they send them to Milwaukee, then to me, that's fair to the player. That's fair to the organization. The organization just can't do exactly what he says. Then, I mean, they'll be right back in the situation they're in now. They got to start looking towards the future to try to figure out what they're going to do to try to win. Because they're all going to be fired if they don't. You trade away Dame and your team still sucks and there's no progress, they're being fired.
Yeah, simple but their team still sucks. You brought back Robert Williams and DeAndre Ayton. Really?
Well, I mean, they're gonna be big. They're gonna be young. They're trying to get guys that can do pick and roll with their young point guard because he's a pick and roll guy. He's not a huge shooter right now.
Don't sleep on Robert Williams. Man. He's a great defender. Like great rim protector. Like I think Boston's gonna miss him because Kristaps don't play. Kristaps don't play no defense. Not a smidgen of defense
right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's where they hurt because Horford just ain't it.
He old. I love my dog Al, but he old.
Yeah, but but they're going to be good on the wing and on a point of attack, right?
So defensively, Boston is going to be disgusting.
But interior, you're gonna be able to punish them.
That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going with this, right? I think this could be a bigger mistake for Milwaukee to let Drew. Like, if they knew that Portland was trying to flip him to go to Boston, I would have been like, because that makes this team better. EJ, you earlier in season 1, you talked about they lost the adult in the room, right? Mm-hmm. When we talked about Marcus Smart being sent to Memphis.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. They got that adult back plus some. He's I personally think he's a better defender. He's absolutely a better offensive player. He's a champion.
Offensive player, yes. Better defender.
He's a champion. I like Drew on the point of attack more than I feel like there's a lot of flopping going on with Marcus Smart, and
that's a part of his defensive game.
I feel like it's built on physicality, but it's not necessarily built on strategy and point of attack type stuff. Like, Drew Holiday stays in front of you. Mm-hmm. Like, he makes you make a decision. Like, either you're going to shoot over me or you're going to have to give it to someone else. But if they put him on the ball handler, or maybe when when either Tatum or Brown goes to, they could put him on their best player depending on how big he is, because Drew's a big dude. So I think this makes Boston nasty. If Porzingis stays healthy and he shoots from the corners, and yes, inside they're going to be, but how's the league built right now? It's not built for bigs to go dominate inside. So if they can at least stay within the rebounding game within these, and they're defending the outside, man, I just think Boston's the best team in the East right now.
Let us
over Milwaukee.
Let us not forget that Jimmy absolutely cooked Drew Holiday in the playoffs. Served that man up like hibachi. Cooked that man. like he was stir fry. Like, so I'm just,
defense in the remember that defense in the NBA is, you can still get cooked and be a good defender, but when you have three guys on the wing who are plus defenders, it's tough to do things because they can extend the defense, right? And if you don't have a big that's going to make them hurt them inside, it's going to be tough to get your offense going.
I think Bam can hurt them. I think Bam can absolutely hurt them.
Oh, I agree. But I mean, you got to remember, how you getting the ball into him, right? Are you serving him up from the elbow? What are we doing? But I mean, that's obviously an individual matchup. I just think as overall, I think this Boston is a better team than they were last year at this point, or during the playoffs. I think, in my opinion, with this Drew Holiday edition.
Okay,
see that. All right. Well, you know what? Hey, preseason's right around the corner. Training camp's about to open.
Yep.
So we'll see how it looks. Season's gonna kick off towards the end of this month. So we almost in NBA season. But you know what? We can't leave you guys without some trivia. And you still got kicks of the week, right?
I got some coming.
All right.
Cooking.
All right, no, you good. So I'm gonna hit you guys with the trivia real quick. Who has the most NFL MVPs and how many?
I want to say Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
With the
That's
4.
a good guess. I feel like that'd be a good educated guess there. What you got, Jimmy?
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning. That's a good guess too. How many do you think he got?
Peyton got more than 4?
If Aaron Rodgers has 4, I'm going with 5.
And you know what? You would be correct.
Damn. Yes, sir. Hey, man, I got 5 MVPs.
I knew it was Peyton. I didn't realize that Aaron Rodgers had. You had me nervous because I thought Aaron Rodgers had like 2 to 3 because I knew Peyton was up there. I didn't think he had 5, but I knew Peyton was up.
I did. He won one with Denver.
He won one with Denver, and he won a few. Yeah. He won the one with Denver, and he won apparently the 4 with
the Colts. Me too. I thought he won. I remember he won like the comeback player or something like that when he had like that crazy year. And I guess maybe he won.
Well, no, that was his MVP year. That first year back.
Yeah.
Because remember the second one that they went and won, he was a shell of himself.
That actually won. Okay.
Yeah.
He won. He won in 2003, 2004, 2008, 2009, and 2013.
Yeah. One of my favorite players to watch in person, as an opposer, because I mean, all throughout, holding season tickets for the Jags, Peyton used to came. I never missed that game. I hated it because he used to shred the hell out of us, but he was just so much fun to watch. And one of my favorite. I normally I'd go into the game early to watch him warm up because what they did with Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne, how structured it was and all that. He was just my favorite player to watch outside of any of my favorite Jags players and stuff like that. But he just the sheriff, man. He was but we still as a Gator 4-0 against him, so I can hold that over him a little bit.
True.
So he never beat the Gators, so I'll hold that.
That's wild. Like what? Tom Brady only has like 1 MVP.
Well, is it only 1? I thought he won the one with the Bucks.
Oh, he won the one with the Bucks. 2.
Yeah, the year they went undefeated, and then he had the one with the Bucks.
That's crazy. He only got 2 MVPs.
All right, what you got for kicks of the week?
All right, cool. So I'm gonna show you guys. It's messing up on me here. All right, let me share my screen.
Why you do that? I'm gonna get on my soapbox real quick.
Lord.
Man, do you know?
All right, here we go. Sneaker news.
Thank goodness.
All right.
Cut that soapbox off.
Yeah, cut the soapbox off. Sneaker news is the source for this right here. So the ones that I really wanted to show you, I got kind of cut off here because this was the reflective background. There's two different versions here. Is the gray with the gum bottoms. Those came out today, and I forgot, and I'm really sad. So I'm gonna share them with the listeners. This is the one, but they actually have one here that's it's an all black version, and the swoosh is reflective on that. So
that's kind of cold.
Right there.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
But I'm really sad about my gray and gum bottoms here. I really wanted those, and I forgot all about them dropping today.
Okay.
So
Well, can I get on my soapbox real quick?
I don't think we've been on this show for a while. I don't think the listeners want to hear the soapbox.
Oh, hold on. I'll be real quick with it. I'll be real quick with it. Inter Miami has got the nerve to want to double
of course
the price of season ticket.
I've been to that.
Because of Messi.
Oh, easy.
The team, look, I've been a season ticket holder since the inception of Inter Miami. So for 3 years now, I've been a season ticket holder with Antoine and my brother. We've been season ticket holders. All of a sudden, we get Messi in July, and they now have the nerve to double what our season ticket prices have been.
Oh, yeah, that's the Messi impact.
The team was hot garbage. Hot garbage. Yo, I couldn't even give away tickets. Hot garbage. And you have the nerve to want to double my season ticket prices? Yo, y'all are tripping.
Today.
The problem is you're gonna lose out that fan loyalty because Messi only got another year and a half on that contract. So what's going to happen when he's gone? You done alienated all your fans because you wanna try to get the buck and strike while the iron is hot. But you're gonna go into this brand new stadium. You'll have him for 1 year, and then after that, then what? Boy, well, they got 2 more years with him actually. 2 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They trying to go for broke.
No, they tripping.
Today's price is not yesterday's price.
Get on my soapbox.
I feel I knew that was gonna happen. I mean, that's like imagine if towards the end, Mike went
I'm
to.
surprised it's only doubled.
Yeah, you feel me? Like this is Messi we're talking
it's
about.
only doubled.
But again, it'd be one. How you have won nothing? You can't have your tickets more than teams that are winning and teams that have been more successful because you got one player who all of a sudden has been hurt and hasn't played in the last 4 games.
But
so, I mean, come on. Man.
Well, let me ask you this. Imagine if Mike, after he won that last chip, he was like, you know what, I'm gonna go play in the league with the Harlem Globetrotters. But those tickets will be astronomical. Everyone going to see Harlem Globetrotter games. It's the effect.
Well, I get it. I get it, but
I feel you though.
Like there should have been some loyalty to the people that have been around for the last 3 years that didn't just all of a sudden become Inter Miami fans because of Messi. Like I think there should have been some sort of loyalty there, not to just hey, we about to hit everybody over the head. Like, come on,
no loyalty.
It's a destination now.
I don't know why you thought that.
Celebs coming now. You know what I mean? Like the stadium full.
It wasn't last game.
Oh, for real?
He's hurt.
Oh.
Nobody going. He's hurt, and that's the thing. It's like you messing up. You messing up. But hey, it is what it is. But I just had to get on my soapbox real quick.
I feel you.
But all right, well, another great night, another great show. Once again, EJ doesn't know what he's talking about, but I think as now, I think everybody's used to it. So, they just tune in to see what stupidness EJ's gonna say, and I'm not mad at it.
Did we talk about EJ? Did we talk about EJ's?
Man, you see Jimmy Wayne. You know he did that mess. What's wrong with y'all?
Did you drop the people's elbow?
I was not doing anything.
The people want to know if you dropped the elbow for him. So did you drop the people's elbow?
I told the people that he'll fill him in on IG or maybe go live one day.
What is wrong with you two?
What the deal was. So it's all good.
Oh,
but maybe next week he'll give us a little more insight on what went down.
Damn plumber.
Just want
Laying pipe. What year were you born in, EJ?
88.
Yeah, laying pipe since 88, baby.
God.
I'm getting a shirt.
What? Don't get no damn
my
shit.
I'm getting a t-shirt.
Oh,
Once again, thank you guys all for listening to Kicks, Cleats, and Athletes. Follow us on IG. You can watch our show live Tuesday nights at about 9:45 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube, Kicks, Cleats, and Athletes. We out.
Thanks, everyone.
yes.
We out.